The Boston Red Sox make a splash here at the winter meetings. They bring in Masataka Yoshida from Japan, a player that posted this morning as we record this on Wednesday afternoon, West Coast time in San Diego, or the evening. And they already sign him up. And it's the biggest contract ever for a Japanese position player coming over to Major League Baseball. 5 years, $85 million. To McMaster here along with Jen McCaffrey. And Jen, for people that are just getting this news, haven't done the research, just talk a little bit about who this player is since he's coming over from Japan.
Yeah, a really dynamic left-handed hitting outfielder that obviously, as you said, played in Japan, had tremendous amount of success. People that played with him over in Japan, major league players that played with him over in Japan, compared to Juan Soto because of his power and his patience at the plate. He struck out only 40 times in 500 plate appearances last year, walked 80 times, so he struck out way less than he did, walked. And so the Red Sox lineup obviously had a lot of issues last year, not only with a lack of power, but getting on base and kind of working counts. And yes, Japanese pitching in the game there is a little bit different, but the Red Sox scouts feel that he's going to be able to kind of lengthen the lineup, add that power element in. He had 21 homers, 28 doubles last year in Japan, and seems to be a really dynamic player that'll be able to help them kind of get their lineup and their offense back in a better rhythm than it was last year.
And it's a clear hole, obviously, and they've done well with holes so far because bullpen needed an upgrade. They've done that with multiple additions, and now they help in the outfield. Where do you see him fitting opening day? Is it bottom of the lineup, and where in the field?
Yeah, so I think so. He's a corner outfielder. Yeah. I feel like he, at this point, I could see him in left field only because it's a little bit of a seemingly an easier transition. Right field at Fenway is pretty tricky, especially for a guy obviously who's never played in that park ever. I don't believe that he's considered the strongest defensive outfielder, so I think that also helps being in left field with the wall. But we'll see. That's definitely not set in stone. He's got, Kike Hernandez in center field to kind of help him out because, we know how good Kike is defensively. So that's where I'm envisioning him in terms of defense. Offensively, yeah, so he's got all these attributes and the way that he played in Japan is, off the charts. But I think I could see them, bottom half of the order for and at least initially to kind of ease him into American League pitching and kind of get him used to the velocity. That's one of the big things when you talk to scouts about the difference between Japan and Japanese pitching and guys that make that transition aren't consistently the high 90s that they're facing. So it might take a little bit of an adjustment period. I know Red Sox fans probably aren't going to give him much time to make that adjustment. So I'm sure Cora and the Red Sox are very mindful of that and maybe going to keep him lower in the order to kind of help ease him into the situation that he's going to be in.
All right, one more thing I mentioned. This wasn't the contract Red Sox fans are waiting for. That is obviously Xander Bogaerts. As we record this, I'll keep adding that. The latest we've heard is that the quote was, there's momentum towards a deal. What are you hearing?
Yeah, so really today, the whole week, it's been on the table, obviously, since the end of the offseason, end of the season. The Red Sox have said they've remained engaged and they've been active in pursuing him, but he had his right to speak to every team. Today really took a step forward in terms of them seemingly having made headway. We don't really know exactly what that means. It seemed a little earlier today like something was definitely going to get done by today. It's, late in the day, as you mentioned, here in San Diego, and we're still kind of waiting. The Red Sox, we talked to Chaim Bloom a few hours ago, the final session, official session with the media before he flew out on a red eye back to Boston tonight. And he didn't really want to comment anything on Bogaerts. He wouldn't touch it, understandably. But I am very curious to see if this will come together because it's started out as a very slow week for the Red Sox, and I think fans were thinking, is this going to be more of the same? And now it's really picked up over the last 24 hours. And if they can get Bogaerts signed after some of these other deals they've come together, I think people are going to be pretty happy.
All right, if you're a Red Sox fan, you're not already following Jen McCaffrey, do it and subscribe to our YouTube page as well.